This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor. Welcome to the very first episode of Morning Brew with the Homeowners. I'm your host, Dmitry Lipinski. After 20 years being in the trades, today I'm helping homeowners to cut through the noise. This show is brought to you by Contractor Directory and the Good Contractors List. I have a co-host today, Randy Hurtado, contractor from Texas. DT Roofing is the company. Randy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Dimitri.
Absolutely. Today's topic, Randy, is a very hot one, cancellation fees. What's the reasonable amount homeowners should pay a contractor in case they change their mind and went with someone else? Very big problem in the roofing industry. A lot of storm chasing contractors are getting mad when they knock at the door, sign an agreement, and the homeowner later told them, oh, we went with someone else. Randy, what do you think is like, before we get into what's reasonable, what's not reasonable, what's common? Like, on average, what do you see in Texas for cancellation fees?
What I see on average is anywhere from 3 to 10%. But what we really have to ask ourselves as contractors is if a customer is figuring out a way to not do business with us, if they don't want to do business with us, why do you want to do business with them? Why do you want to force them to do business with your company? It's not going to work out well for you, even if everything on the job itself works out well, because that customer is going to always be left with a bitter taste in their mouth. If they want to use their cousin, let them use their cousin.
What about, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. What about those cases where, contractor claims that he did all the work and he has insurance involved and, he met adjuster 3 times and he got the claim approved and all of that stuff and maybe put a couple tarps. So if there is a value exchange, not only money. So let's say,
Yeah.
homeowner paid $1,500 down payment or what's not, and now the contractor is like, well, I did more work than that.
Well, I mean, obviously, if services exchanged hands and a contract is in place, you have a lot more to stand on. I went out, I tarped your entire roof because, most of it, the wind blew off most of it. I helped you file that claim with your insurance company, walked you through the process you said you didn't know anything about. I think those are examples of when somebody might have basis. In our company, we're going to still charge for that tarping because I have to pay my guys to do that. But from the sales perspective, my salesmen know that you have to start with a relationship and earn that business. Nothing is guaranteed just because you sign a piece of paper. Yeah, legally so, maybe. But again, I go back to my original statement is why would you force somebody to do business with you if they've chosen not to do business with you? And it's a different story if I go out and spend a bunch of money on the material, I have it delivered to the house, my guys show up the morning of, and then the customer decides to back out. I've now got costs associated with that job that I have to be able to recover, and at minimum, I have to charge the customer for that.
Got it. Well, I have 2 tips for the homeowners. Tip number one, know your rights. And almost in all states, I don't know if it's true to Texas, like, I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. You have 3 days to cancel. In most states, the law says that even after you sign an agreement, it's a cool off period or whatever they call it legally. If you have doubts, maybe you've been pressured, because a lot of people are being pressured at the door, especially after weather events, hail, wind, storm, people thinking, they're overwhelmed with what happened. They want to move forward, and now you sign a piece of paper, giving your insurance claim away or whatever the case is. You have 3 days to cancel. So know your rights. So like, nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing contractor can do. So that's number one. Number two, though, is money exchange part. So I love when contractors are so weak when they cannot collect the payment or not even asking for the payment, not asking for deductible payment. So there's no money exchange, right? And they'll put in the fine print something like $2,500 cancellation fees or 5% cancellation fees, 10% cancellation fees, hoping to send them bill later. But in reality, if you never pay them, how can you send a bill? Like, how are you going to calculate it? So, what have you seen for cancellation fees in Texas? What's the highest you've ever heard of?
The highest I've seen is 10%.
10%.
Until I've did a little research on what we're going to be talking about today, 10% was the highest that I've seen.
Wow. And I've seen here in Minnesota, I've seen dollar amount. So usually, like, and I've been a contractor here in Minneapolis from 2013 to 2020. For many, many years, we did not have anything. I would not have cancellation fees in my agreements. But later we added on insurance claims. And usually I think it was like $1,000 or $1,500 in case of if we file a claim with the insurance company, if there's multiple meetings, you have overhead, you
Mhm.
create a paperwork, you buy reports, like a whole bunch of stuff, right? 1,000, $1,500 to cancel, you go with someone else after we file, got approval, we have several meetings, all of that stuff. Now, the question I have for you, Randy, is a reasonable billing, because we know that lawyers charge hourly, right? So lawyers, what's the highest we see lawyers? I mean, obviously there's lawyers who charge thousands of dollars, but usually it's hundreds, right? So if you do the math on cancellation fee of roofers, they charge more than lawyers. Like,
Yeah.
I remember for years my lawyer would charge me like $250, $300, right? But then if you do the math, if a roofer sends you a bill for $5,000 because he met insurance adjuster 3 times, how much time did you spend with those adjusters? Like 3 hours? So you're billing me five
Five hundred.
thousand dollars for 3 hours worth of work? You,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because
Well,
though.
the other flip of this coin is contractors have to remember too. We want to be able to have the right to fire a customer.
Mhm.
Gosh, how many times have we signed a contract with that one customer? And unfortunately, in our area, I don't have a whole lot of them, but there have been situations where you sign the contract and then I had one example years ago when I was still in the field. Customer, after signing the contract with us, after paying his deductible, he comes and says, "Hey, well, my neighbor across the street said that a roofer said that they were going to cover his deductible and paint his house, and I need you to do the same thing." And I said, "I'm sorry, we're not going to break the law, and we need to be profitable on this job, otherwise we're not in business." And ultimately, we couldn't come to an agreement, and I had to fire the customer. I had to say, "Listen, I don't think we need to do business together. It's clear that I'm not going to make you happy based on what you're asking for." And so if I can do that, if I want the right to do that as a contractor, then the customer should have the right to say, "You know what? I've decided that I don't want to work with your company. Maybe I did some research on Google and found out you have 2 stars and read those reviews, or, whatever the case may be." But the consumer should have the right to, like you said, when their hair's on fire and hail just fell out of the sky and damaged their car and their house and everything, some slick tongued, salesman at a door could get them to do something that they really didn't maybe think all the way through. And so they should have that ability.
No, I love your point, because as a consumer, we can change companies, we can change, stores where we go to. Like recently, I talked to a contractor here in Minnesota, and he used to be sales rep for this company, and they were quite shady. They have $70,000 dispute over his commission, but his customers would like to hire him, not them. So he started his own business, and actually, it was the case. So they paid their company $1,000, and the homeowner says, "You know what? I don't care about that $1,000. I don't care about losing it." They started the claim. It was actually insurance claim as well. I'm okay with it. I still want to hire you. And he was cheaper, and it was a retail job now, because the homeowner already cashed some of the work. He did some. Anyway, the point is, you're exactly right. Homeowner have the right to cancel, but the contractor have a right to cancel too. If you feel like there, actually, we did a video on the contractor in Texas 2 weeks ago, where a contractor puts tarps on the roof and a homeowner went with someone else, and the contractor sent them bill, but they never have agreement. They never have anything. They, and to my contractors out there also, don't do the work if the money is not exchanged. That contract usually does not have power unless homeowner have paid you. Do you agree, Randy?
Oh, that's absolutely. In fact, that's the law in Texas. If money didn't exchange hands, then the contract is pretty much, it's not even worth the paper it's written on.
Awesome. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have homeowner dialing in with a crazy story, the highest cancellation fee Randy have ever heard of. Stay tuned.